Time started.
Okay, Jorge Campos. D5. Let's D4, D5. Let's try that. Classical Slav defense. So against this move, you can play the Winawer gambit. I've been trying to get one of these games. And so if he takes a pawn, you push ahead with D4. Yeah. And you can do that whether he exchanges first or not. And then when he moves the knight, you have this check.
Check.
And if he blocks the bishop, if he blocks with the bishop, then you can just retake the pawn. So this is called the Winawer gambit, and it only works if you're playing the Slav defense and white plays knight c3. If he plays knight f3, then he can just take the pawn with the knight, and it's no dice. It's got to be with the knight on c3, then you can play e5. So I think knight g3 is the normal move here. Yeah. And then he's going to play knight f6, knight f3 rather. Where do I want my queen? I think if I put it to c7, which is kind of a natural square, he's going to hit it again with the rook. I could go over here to b4, but it'd be a target for this pawn. So I think just dropping back to d6 is the move here. And you can even go all the way back to d1 if he plays. Knight f5 is not happening because the bishop is protecting that square. So the only problem with the square d6 for the queen is that it is blocking the dark squared bishop, the king bishop. Okay, so he's piling up on that square. But he has exposed his king a bit. So let's play. I'm thinking bishop e7 here because bishop d7 makes a threat on the queen and opens the c file. Potential threat on the queen and opens the c file for the rook. And I don't believe he can take on here on I don't believe he can take on d4 just yet. So knight takes, queen takes, knight takes, or queen moves somewhere, and then I have time to move the queen away before running into some fearsome discovery with this bishop. So I think my pawn is safe. Now the question here is, do I have some good discovered attack on the queen? I guess if I move the knight, then the queen can take on d4 here, right? But this threatens a discovered attack on the queen because any knight move simultaneously checks the king and attacks the queen. Now, is there a way to take advantage of this? So, knight moves. Again, he just takes on d4. And bishop to here check, unfortunately, is covered by the knight. There is knight to knight b4 is the knight is covered by the queen. I mean, yeah, this knight is protected by the queen, so the queen will have to move. The queen could take on a7 though. Okay, if I just give up that pawn, knight takes, queen takes, then maybe I can do something. I don't know, all his pieces look pretty well coordinated. I don't see it. So we'll just have to play a developing move, allow myself to castle, and see what happens with the d-pawn. So knight takes, he can play queen takes. So after knight takes, I might play something like queen to c7. Oh, but he's got knight b5. Yeah, a bit tricky, a bit tricky. Okay, this is putting myself in a self-pin here. Maybe this square is better then. But is there a knight move that attacks my queen? I can escape here with check against most moves that attack the queen. And I guess there's still knight to knight f4, knight f5 there. He takes and he takes the knight I can take back with the queen. So bishop takes, I assume. This pawn on the pawn on c7 was on c2 rather was still hanging with the fork on the two rooks. So I can grab that bishop and double his pawns, and I probably should. And then castle. And, I'm a pawn down, but this is actually a decent position. I have the bishop pair, and he has a messed up pawn structure. So I should be okay here, actually. So bishop here to annoy that knight. Bishop here to attack the pawn. If the pawn moves ahead, I have the move bishop to bishop e3, which is probably annoying to white. Then I can play rook e1, maybe round up one of them pawns. So Jorge Campos from Argentina? Yeah. All right. Well, he was playing pretty well so far, I thought, despite his rating. Yeah, he protects the pawn with that knight move. Now, if I kick the knight again, I'm protecting this forking square. He can attack the rook from this square. Come here. Oh, I think I want to kick that knight right away, so as not to allow this lingering threat of the fork there. Ah, that was silly. I have this move bishop e4 check, winning the knight. Let me see when I played that. Yeah, I could have played it right here. Bishop e4 check just wins the knight. Yeah, I got to be a little sharper than that. Okay, so now he escapes with the knight, and I can pick up a pawn here. So I guess I should. It's a shame to let an opportunity like that pass me by. Now it's very difficult to defend this e-pawn here. Yeah, but he can get rid of my bishop. And let's see, I think I can protect this guy. Let's see, maybe I want to start lining up on the dark squares here. I can attack this pawn. Yeah, I don't really care about this pawn over here, I decided. I'd rather grab this pawn, and if he plays bishop takes, I'll play here first, causing him to move the rook, and then I'll play with my rook here and line up on b2. Okay, unfortunately there's no pin there, is it? Okay, but I can play b3, I assume, and then I can try a4, a5, a4. He can line up on my, it's true, he can line up on that pawn. Bishop there. Okay, so if I play a5, he can advance and I take with check. He plays his bishop here, I take. Bishop takes, check. I guess I better protect that a bit.
Check.
And if he plays his rook to h1, trying to attack h7 here, I have the move h6. He goes that way. Okay, where can the bishop go? That's useful. Maybe here. Still want to support h6 in case this pawn comes under attack on h7. There's also the idea of rook, rook to c1 mate with the bishop on this diagonal. Okay, can I push ahead? He takes, I take. He takes, that's a mate threat. I take with check. That's annoying. I guess I will let it go for one move. He takes, I take back. Rook takes. And h6, supporting the bishop, and now he can double on here. And this might be a draw. Probably is a draw. No, it's mate. I walked into a mate, sorry.
Checkmate.
Forgot about the bishop there. Okay, good game, Jorge. And I will upload this one and do a postmortem.